The African kingdom that shocked the ancient world. The mystery. 2,000 years ago, one kingdom stood at the intersection of three continents. Its merchants carried African ivory and gold toward the Mediterranean and Indian Ocean. Its kings placed their faces on gold coins. Its engineers carved enormous monuments from single blocks of stone, some taller than modern buildings. Its rulers communicated in Greek, Ge'ez, and Sabaean. And when its armies crossed the Red Sea, they changed the political future of Arabia. A late antique text associated with the Persian prophet Mani placed this African kingdom among four great powers: Rome, Persia, China, and one kingdom whose name has nearly disappeared from popular history. It did not rise beside the Nile or on the Mediterranean coast. It emerged from the highlands of northeastern Africa, and its power was built on trade, military organization, religion, and control of the Red Sea. So, what was this forgotten kingdom? The reveal. It was the kingdom of Aksum. Its heartland covered parts of what are now northern Ethiopia and Eritrea. For centuries, Aksum connected the African interior with Arabia, the Mediterranean world, and the Indian Ocean. This was not an isolated civilization at the edge of history. Aksum stood near the center of the ancient world's commercial system. 110 to 225. The kingdom built by trade. Visual, Red Sea map connecting Aksum, Adulis, Egypt, Arabia, and India. Aksum's location was one of its greatest advantages. Its capital stood in the highlands, surrounded by productive agricultural lands. But its principal gateway to the outside world was Adulis, a major port on the Red Sea coast, in present-day Eritrea. A Greek-language trading guide from the 1st century, known as the Periplus of the Erythraean Sea, described Adulis and the commercial activity of the region. Through this port, ivory, tortoiseshell, and other African products entered international markets. In return, goods and ideas arrived from Egypt, the Roman world, Arabia, and India. Caravan routes connected the coast to the highlands and extended deeper into Africa. Aksum's rulers understood that whoever controlled these routes could collect wealth, maintain armies, and influence events far beyond the capital. Trade did more than enrich the kingdom. It connected Aksum to different languages, religions, and political systems, and transformed it into an international power. 225 to 325. Towers carved from stone slowly reveal the Aksum stelae from ground level. Aksum's wealth can still be seen in the enormous stones standing above its ancient burial grounds. These monuments are commonly called obelisks, but they are more accurately described as stelae. They were built mainly during the 3rd and 4th centuries as funerary monuments for members of the Aksumite elite. Their surfaces were carved to resemble tall, multi-story buildings, complete with false doors and rows of windows. The largest standing stele rises more than 23 meters. Another monument, approximately 33 meters long, lies broken where it fell, possibly during an attempt to raise it. It may be the largest monolithic stele that any ancient society ever attempted to erect. 325 to 420. The message hidden in the coins. Visual, gold, silver, and bronze Aksumite coins rotating against a dark background. But stone monuments were not Aksum's only statement of authority. Beginning in the late 3rd century, Aksumite kings issued coins in gold, silver, and bronze. The earliest known series is associated with King Ezana. The coins carried royal portraits, crowns, and messages in Greek, and later Ge'ez. Greek made the coins understandable within the wider commercial world, while Ge'ez expressed the kingdom's own developing written culture. Aksum was the only known kingdom in sub-Saharan Africa to mint its own coins during antiquity. These coins were not simply money, they were miniature political messages. Every merchant who received one also received an image of the king, who claimed authority over the trade routes. Today, those coins help historians reconstruct the names, religions, and political ambitions of rulers whose written record. 420, 530. A religious revolution. Visual, Early Aksumite coin showing the crescent and disc symbol, changing to a coin bearing a cross. During the 4th century, those coins recorded a major transformation. King Ezana, who ruled during the 4th century, adopted Christianity. Accounts connected with the conversion describe the influence of Frumentius, a Christian from the eastern Mediterranean who became associated with the royal court. Before the conversion, Aksumite coins carried a crescent and disc symbol, connected with the kingdom's earlier religion. After Ezana became Christian, that symbol was replaced by the cross. This produced some of the earliest Christian imagery ever placed on a ruler's official currency. The change did not mean that every person in the kingdom immediately converted. Christianity initially had its strongest position around the royal court before spreading more widely. But Ezana's decision placed Aksum among the world's earliest Christian kingdoms. His surviving inscriptions also appear in Greek, Sabaean, and Ge'ez, a reminder that Aksum communicated with several different cultural worlds at once. Christianity would survive the kingdom itself and become one of Aksum's most enduring legacies. 530 to 640, the African army that crossed the sea, visual, fleet crossing the Red Sea, followed by an animated map of Aksum and Himyar. By the 6th century, Aksum's ambitions extended across the Red Sea. In southern Arabia, the kingdom of Himyar was experiencing a violent political and religious struggle. After the persecution and killing of Christians at Najran, the Aksumite king Caleb launched a major expedition across the sea. The campaign also involved the strategic interests of the Eastern Roman Empire, which wanted a friendly Christian power near important Red Sea trade routes. Aksumite forces defeated the Himyarite ruler and established a new political order in parts of southern Arabia. Aksum's direct control did not remain secure. An Aksumite military leader named Abraha later seized power and ruled with considerable independence. But the campaign demonstrated something remarkable. This African kingdom possessed enough organization, ships, soldiers, and resources to project military power across the Red Sea. Aksum was not simply participating in international trade. It was helping determine who controlled it. 640 to 720. A refuge remembered in Islamic history. Visual, a small group crossing the Red Sea at night, followed by a dignified African king receiving refugees. Aksum also appears in the early history of Islam. According to Islamic tradition, around 615, some of Prophet Muhammad's earliest followers fled persecution in Mecca and crossed the Red Sea seeking safety. They were received by the ruler of Aksum, the Negus, or Najashi, who granted them protection. This journey became known as the First Hijra. The story preserved the memory of a Christian African ruler who protected a vulnerable religious community, despite pressure to return them. It is another reminder that Aksum was deeply connected to events unfolding across the Red Sea. Aksum did not need legend to become one of the ancient world's great civilizations. It controlled important trade routes. It issued internationally recognized currency. It raised some of antiquity's largest stone monuments. It developed a written culture in Ge'ez. It became an early center of Christianity, and its armies projected power from the African highlands into Arabia. When the ancient world looked toward the Red Sea, it did not see an isolated African kingdom. It saw a power important enough to be mentioned beside Rome, Persia, and China. The true mystery is not how Aksum became so powerful. It is why so much of the world stopped remembering its name. Which part of Aksum's story surprised you most? The coins, the stelae, its Red Sea empire, or its place in early Christian and Islamic history? Share your answer in the comments and subscribe to Untold Africa.